Do you always have to take a morning poop because you delay this show? We here.
We steer.
You in the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna, and this is GPS. Look at it. I saw again the biceps are looking good, Perna. You know, I've been trying to do more. You know, they're not where you're at, but like they're definitely not where you're at. I feel inadequate as a man now.
Good. That's my whole goal is to intimidate other men. I don't lift weights for women. I do it for the guys.
Yeah, you gotta, listen, sun's out, guns out. You know what I mean? So that's what it's all about. Now we're here. The off season is continuing. There's a little bit of news that's trickling in. Aaron Rodgers showed up to camp. He's throwing balls, and apparently he got married in the most Aaron Rodgers thing possible because he showed up. I think it was when he was signing the contract, right? He had a finger on. He had a finger on his hand. Yeah, he had a ring on his finger, and then he was asked it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, a couple months." It was basically when he won MVP during the COVID times, and he like shouted out his fiance at the time. You know, it's very Aaron Rodgers-esque. Likes to keep it private, likes to keep it to himself, and there you
go. I don't think that's the same person, though.
No, it's a different person.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that the way that he handles personal life is usually
right. Because he was like, "Yes, was that Shailene Woodley?"
That might have been Shailene. I think that's still the best thing you've ever created.
I
think ever.
Oh.
Hey, master flight instructor test. Let's go. Hey, make sure that you have constant communication in the cockpit. Okay. If there's anything that I learned from Nathan Fielder, it's that pilots need to communicate.
Good communication.
Did you watch it yet?
I've watched the first 2 episodes.
Oh God! You you have to watch just wait.
11,000. It took 11 hours and it cost 3,000. I think it should be 11,000 hours. Takes 10,000 hours to master something. I want my pilots to have 11,000.
It's 1,500 right now.
1,500 hours. That's it.
Yeah, it's 1,500 hours.
That is not enough.
It's a lot of hours. I mean, that's up too, because that's from they've upped that in the previous year. So it's true.
Aaron Rodgers.
Listen, rehearsal season 2 is
matrimonialized.
Excellent. You can't take that joke. You can't. Come on. You know you've seen it other places. Mm-hmm. No.
Yes, I can.
Can't do it.
I can.
Hey. Talking about the Denver Broncos, there's some breaking news with them. We're going to talk about the Cincinnati Bengals too, because that's a whole different thing. But J.K. Dobbins signing with the Denver Broncos. I have to imagine. I saw you went live about this yesterday. You got to be pretty happy about this, yeah?
Yeah, this is a good addition to the Broncos running back room. I saw somebody tweet that it raises the floor of the Broncos running back room pretty significantly. And I think that's a good way to put it. And JK, like when he was on the field, what kind of gets lost through all the injuries, but specifically last year, he's probably top 10 of one of the more dynamic running backs, specifically on longer runs. And that is something that the Broncos desperately need in the run game. So
yes, I agree. And I mean, it's also you have options, right? I think that this kind of is and to go from I think you posted about that, right? Like the Broncos, did they not have like a rushing touchdown all of last season and stuff? Like what was there was a meme.
I'll show you. Yes.
And you're like, this is about to change. But basically
that's not how I read it. That's not how I said it in my voice.
This is about to change.
That's closer. That's a lot closer. Guys, this is about to change.
The hierarchy of the NFL is about to change because Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is joining the Denver Broncos.
Was another owner?
No,
getting in that ownership group.
Oh, he's gonna try to be a quarterback. It's for a new A24.
Rock?
Yeah, The Rock. Yep. He's gonna go be the next quarterback of the Denver Broncos.
Fuck yeah, I'll take Dwayne Johnson.
You hear that, Bo? How easily he'll toss you away?
Not a single running back to have a 100-yard game since 2023. So 2 full years without a 100-yard rusher. That's the stat.
That's pretty bad. All right, so then
like that. It's more like this.
How did you read what
this is about to change?
Okay, so there was the finger movement.
I actually think about that a lot when I'm firing off tweets. I'm like, I'll reread it based on the way people are commenting. I'm like, they probably aren't reading that the way I hear it in my head.
You know what that's called, right? That's tone. So if you had me as an AP Euro teacher, when you're going through primary sources, tone is very important because, who is this for? How is it intended to be read or heard?
Yeah. True. I assume everybody reads it the same way I do.
Mm.
And that's hard. That's not fair to assume everybody's on the same sort of intellectual plane that I am.
Yeah.
Which is my intellectual plane. Just it flies
right
less
above
than Aaron Rodgers. Here's Rodgers. Here's me.
You think you're smarter than Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, 100%. You know why?
It depends on how we're measuring.
That vaccines work, Tom, based on hundreds. Well, that's close to hundreds of years of science.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that case. I'm talking about, he won Celebrity Jeopardy. I'm talking about, I think trivia,
Celebrity Jeopardy is a joke. It's
I think he whooped your ass in trivia. By the way, did I tell you I won
Celebrity Jeopardy?
Did I tell you I won trivia last week?
Yeah, you did.
I was dude, it's like a crowning achievement. I was like, man, announcing a draft pick, trivia's right there. I was like, I've never won that before. William, I'm sorry about the whole poop thing that you got going on. That's not great. I hope that, have some bananas.
Painting the porcelain.
Some rice, and just
nice.
Yeah, I hope things work themselves out soon.
I'll give Rodgers this.
Yeah.
He probably understands NFL defenses better than I do.
Mm.
I'll give him that.
I'm sorry. He probably does.
I might not be able to articulate what I'm seeing sometimes on a football field, but I'm more like Favre. I just kind of know it. I may not know what a nickel
hope you're not more
is.
like Favre.
I may not know what a nickel defense is, but I can get the ball where it needs to go.
So now you're, but that's okay. All right, let's just have you that. That's fine. That's fine. Well, if the cake is good, then worth it. Over under for wins for the Broncos this year.
I think it's probably set at 9.5 would be my guess.
That's fair.
I am really hoping for 11 wins. I think 11 wins would be really nice. I think 10 is kind of what people feel. It's like the Chargers and Broncos are hovering around that 10-win area, but I don't know.
Hey, yes. So, Karakina, that is also the news. So we were talking about James Cook on Monday.
Yeah.
And so he has shown up. Why did he? Brandon, what was the thing? What was the one thing that made him show up when he was asked, why are you here?
Quote, I like my money. That's why I'm here.
That's it. It's Marshawn Lynch for a different age of I'm just here so I don't get fined. I'm here because so this is also something to be discussed because this also relates to the Bengals and we'll jump into this as well. But if you're a relatively new football fan, so the last collective bargaining agreement that the NFL and the NFLPA passed is very not player friendly when it comes to sitting out, in which basically if a player sits out, not only are they losing tens of thousands of dollars every single week, but on top of that, if they decide, hey, I'm not going to play this year, they're still under contract. It's not like that year counts. And so for a player like James Cook, who is still under his rookie contract, he would start losing money. And him sitting out wouldn't do anything if the Bills are just like, all right, we'll let you sit out. And then guess what? We're still going to have you. So that makes it more difficult for players to really have kind of any leverage here. unless you're already like an all-star player who has made a ton of money, who could afford to lose the money. But James Cook, who's still on his rookie deal, can't really afford to do that right now.
Yeah, James, he needs that money. I think like Lamar Jackson, by not going to the voluntary workouts, like he's just forfeiting like $750,000 and not giving a fuck about it. Can you
imagine just being like, oh, $750,000? Oh yeah, it's a drop in the bucket.
So a thing that takes most people multiple years to like earn. I don't need it because I don't want to go exercise. Imagine, and it, like Lamar can do whatever he wants. I support Lamar not going, but imagine being as athletically gifted as Lamar Jackson, where exercising is and working out and just throwing around some. It's the easiest thing on earth for you to do.
For $750,000.
Lamar Jackson running 4.3 speed is like how easily I can rub one out, right? Like we're on the same. I'm above Aaron Rodgers on the intellectual skill level. I can rub it out better than any NFL player, right? And the NFL's like, Brandon, just show up, rub one out, and you get $750,000. I'm like, nah.
Okay, now he hasn't gotten any treatment from the medical staff, but he was on his left.
Yes. I will cut a little hole in the dirt, and I will make love to it, just like Jake Bates. That's how easy it is for Lamar to do that. And he's like, no. And that's a good analogy. It's a
turf
good
or grass.
What's that?
Turf or grass? I feel like it has to be grass.
Oh yeah, I side with the players on turf fucking.
Because the turf they have like little black pellets and stuff, and that
all natural grass
go into the little mouth, and it won't be good.
Yeah,
you started this conversation, so I'm gonna continue.
No, but that's Lamar's like the thing I can do easier than anyone basically on earth will make me $750,000 if I show up for 3 days, and I don't need to. That blows my mind.
That would be that'd be like you got a good life. That means you're rich. Like
the 60 million you made that year is really going a long way.
Yep, I think so.
There was an old you remember it was on Funny or Die. It was with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. They made a whole song about fucking the dirt, cutting a hole into the ground and having sex with it. Oh man, what was that song called? I know somebody's gonna remember that. I know somebody's gonna.
I don't know, man. I feel like you and Aaron Rodgers are more similar if you're drilling holes into the earth. I don't know.
Yeah, but the difference is I'm doing it for
not looking
fun.
for oil.
I'm doing it for fun. Aaron Rodgers thinks he's gonna grow a magical tree that's gonna extend his life.
Doing it. I just want to be very clear. I'll be doing this in my personal time. This is
Rodgers like I'm trying to create the Rodgers tree.
Linical. So yeah, it was technically 13th for their secondary and passing defense, but yes, I think that Packers can win. It's just we can jump into the Packers and talk about that. So Bo Melton, love me some Bo Melton. Kind of being like his brother Max Melton, who was drafted by the Cardinals, is trying out, or at least they messed around with him as a corner yesterday, of course, with Jair Alexander being released. The Packers looking for some more depth. And while you could make an argument, and I think it's a decent argument, that like, hey, the Packers still had a really good secondary last year, hopefully with just even more development, they'll be better. I think every Packers fan can agree that the depth in terms of our CB room is a little concerning. And so, hey, they're throwing Bo Melton over there and saying, he's good on special teams. Maybe there's another way for him to make an impact. Maybe he turns into the next Travis Hunter, which would be great. But yeah, I'm still concerned, but I'm also more concerned about the pass rush because, again, if that is able to develop, that will help out a secondary a lot. And then you just got to pray for no injuries. Fiona, I mean, listen, what other sports show is talking about Brandon Perna drilling a hole into the ground so he could consummate with the earth? I don't know if there's many. It's
called Green Team. The John C. Reilly, Will Ferrell, it's a sketch. Green Team. You're welcome. All right. So what were you saying? Bo Melton's going to play corner? You're trying to convert a receiver to corner? That's when you know your team's in trouble, actually.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Well, listen, we converted a wide receiver to a running back. We did that with Ty Montgomery, but
That's an easier transition.
it was a time. I mean, it was
Yeah.
better than the transition of you going, wide receiver to quarterback. But yeah, it's tough time. It's tough time.
Is it just to maximize Melton's
Mike.
athleticism and potential, or is there like a need there for you guys?
Well, as I just explained while you were talking about having sex with the earth,
For the dirt fuckers.
again, there's like very little depth there.
Okay.
Right. And so like that's a concern. So like he's played on special teams, Bo. I always like Bo. And he did play some corner in high school. His brother is a corner. Matt LaFleur made the joke. He was just like, he said, I'm better than my brother. And he's like, well, go out there and prove it. That was a joke. Okay. It's so funny. Speaking, this is a complete tangent. So I watch the Packers press conferences every time that they go on, just in case like there's something, and just of course to be informed about the team. And Matt LaFleur will make jokes throughout the press conferences, and very little of the beat reporters will laugh. And that makes me feel a little bad. I'm like, okay, he's trying. He's trying to put some levity in there, because right now, if you're an NFL coach, this is warm-ups. This is, you're not really seeing a ton. Matt LaFleur was talking about this yesterday. They're not going full speed, except they did a 7-on-7, but they're really not going to be able to get a good look at guys until camp. So Bo Melton messing around at corner right now, that's, nothing is set in stone. We're going through these next few days. We're going to see how they go. And then really camp is where you're going to start to see the depth charts start to get figured out a little bit. So
somebody commented on my brown cup. It's the Big Texan.
Oh.
Home of the 72-ounce steak.
You been there?
No, but my parents have, and they got me this mug.
Did your dad eat the whole steak? No.
He might have been able to back in his prime.
Heyday.
Back when he was unhealthy.
Do you think that you could do that now?
Eat 72 ounces of steak?
Yeah.
Maybe, but you got to eat the potato. There's a whole bunch of sides and bullshit you got to eat with it.
Well,
I don't think I could get all 72 ounces of the steak. I bet I could eat a lot of it if it was just the meat. But
do you get the cup for completing that challenge? Is it a challenge?
No, I think my parents just
bought it.
You get the steaks free if you eat it. If not, you pay $100 or $200, whatever. Oh. It's I think a lot of it's been on shows. I'm sure a bunch of people have seen the thing.
There you go. But, yeah, I saw that MetLife got their grass field for the group stages, and the NFLPA is just must be nice. Must be nice. Yeah.
Named after the insurance company you're going to need once we tear up your body.
You're going to see so much. This is going to be a big narrative next year, because next year, of course, is going to be the World Cup being held in a lot of NFL stadiums where they have to have grass, because FIFA's hey, we'll accept a lot of terrible things, but it needs to be grass. And so you're going to see a lot of NFL players chime in about this, because then all of a sudden
it's kind of a racket when you think about it. Insurance companies buying the naming rights to stadiums and then forcing those players to play on suboptimal ground where injuries are greater. It's free advertising.
Can they just keep in the grass? It's a great question. The problem is upkeep. Right?
Yeah,
that's the issue, is that it gets, you have to constantly pay for it to be maintained. And NFL owners are we're only making billions of dollars. We can't spend the money. We only did
$20 billion in
profit.
Don't
have any money. So
we're only paying Roger Goodell $60+ million a year.
We can't. We would love to. We're sorry. But no, everyone needs to, care.
I mean, but it's it's an issue that it's a big issue, but it's not as big of an issue as, playing a violent game every Sunday. No. It's just one little thing they could do to maybe make it a little bit safer, and they don't. And because it's a preference. Players would prefer to play on grass.
Why would we listen to the people that have to actually play the game?
Yeah.
That guy, I don't know if this is a joke, or I have no idea what this is.
This whole show we created because we were sick of players having too much power.
I thought you said, Tom, I need to embezzle some money, so can you just do this show?
Well, that's the second part of it.
Okay. Yeah, I thought, okay.
Is it good if you're embezzling money, but you're losing? You're not profiting? I'm doing something wrong with my embezzlement.
Yeah, I don't think you're embezzling.
If you're familiar with embezzling, please feel free to DM me.
Did you watch the Brett Favre documentary just for like tips or?
No, see, even he's not doing it right because he got caught.
That's true. He got, but hey, that volleyball court got built, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I guess, did you get a volleyball court built?
No.
Okay. All right.
No, I did not.
I don't know if this is a joke or if something actually happened with the Raiders long snapper coach. I have no idea. I have not heard anything.
The Raiders long snapper coach did some sick. Oh yeah, I didn't see it.
Yep.
I did not see it. I don't know what the reference is.
No, thank you, Yankees. No, thank you, but I appreciate the offer. I don't even know if I really appreciate the offer. Just a no, thank you. Just no Trayvon Diggs. We're okay. We're good. Take a pass. Listen, Perna is the king. He most definitely is the king. All right, let's talk about.
Thank you, Eagles.
Sorry, you wanted to do something.
There we go. There's a J.K. Dobbins stat for you.
There you go.
Attempts to gain 10 plus yards last season. Highest percentage, 13.8. We need that shit bad. We need it real bad. Sean McVay. Oh yeah, he was talking about the Aaron Donald and
Jared Verse. Yeah. And I can't. Aaron Donald, because so for a little preference here, so Perna could have some insight here. Perna has worked out with an NFL player.
I have. Oh hell yeah! That's basically the first video I made that was a success.
Hey, there you go. Perna, why don't you, for some context, explain the workout that you did, and then we could lead it into Jared versus Aaron Donald.
I worked out with Derek Wolfe, and I held my own.
It's true, Jack.
But I lifted significantly lighter weight than he did. We factored in my weight. It's actually pretty easy, was my takeaway.
Oh my God, you're such a liar. The biggest.
I honestly could have kept going at the end of it. I think it was not the next day, but the day after is when my legs felt like I couldn't walk. That's when it really set in that I worked muscles I didn't know I had in my lower extremities. Probably ones I neglect a little bit, but Wolf's been out of the league for a few years. Aaron Donald's recently retired, and Aaron Donald was a freak among freaks. So I think Jared Verse picked the wrong guy to mess with. It's part of the problem.
Could you imagine a workout with Aaron Donald?
No.
Like, I feel like I would be in constant... My adrenaline would be through the roof because I'd be in constant fear of my life.
Yeah. I doubt I'll go to any Broncos games.
There you go.
I like that people think I go to them. I do respect that. But I would go to one next year if I can fit it in. But it's just such a pain in the ass for me because, and Tom knows, Sunday through Tuesday is just like hell. It's just so much work in that 72-hour period. And if you take time out of it to do something like that, you're just fucking yourself out of. You're gonna be up super late trying to make up for what you missed by not being home. So
that's why I go to a preseason game every year, like in a training camp every year, because I'm like, okay, this gives me my dose of Lambeau. I'm able to go see like a preseason game. But yeah, during the season, it's tough. Hey, Ashley, I'm very sorry that you just got to start playing. Devil's Advocate's going to keep you there
jury duty.
Still there, Ashley. You just got
guilty. Put him in jail.
Again, traffic violation, but
guilty until proven innocent by buying off a jury.
Oh, you're buying.
That's the America I want to live in.
Maybe it's your embezzling thing. Are you supposed to be in court right now, Brandon?
No.
Okay, that's good.
You'll never see me in court
because the bench is too high, or make all those Packers comments.
Pretty good last week where I faked like Aaron was here. So I said, how many guys have seen, what's going on between Jared and Aaron? A lot of guys raised their hand. I said, everybody welcome Aaron Donald. In versus, he sits like in the front left. He looked like he was going to shit himself, So it was great though. But I loved it that they went over there. I know that it was all good and fun. But Aaron still takes pretty good care of himself. I texted Jared that I said, I loved it that you went over there. He said, yeah, I'm not messing with legends anymore, though.
Yeah,
I love Sean McVay.
If Jared Verse is saying that, he's just like, hey, man, like, Aaron Donald's just a lot. He's just, he's like, I'm sorry. He put out a tweet of like, I will never disrespect him ever again. I'm so sorry. So sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, what dirt bike, Perna?
Oh, my dirt bike?
Here we go. Now you got him interested.
It's a 1996 Yamaha XT, I think. It is just a very average dirt bike. It's old, but it runs great. And it fits my size. That was always the thing with dirt bikes. They're always like, speaking of not being able to get up on the bench, like feel comfortable on a dirt bike. Your feet got to be able to touch the ground.
Yeah. Hey, appreciate you, Wyatt. Let's go. And listen, I would like to say that better days are coming for the Cleveland Browns. I don't want to lie to you, but like it can't be bad forever, right? So eventually, this too shall pass.
Yeah, I think everybody's, once you rid yourself of Deshaun Watson,
Start
you
the
guys
rebuild.
we'll be rooting for you again.
Yeah.
Although, where's the Myles Garrett? Where is the Myles Garrett? All right, so Rodgers showed up. Everybody's in minicamp.
We'll see how Dylan Gabriel does with the Cleveland Browns. Browns might not want to get rid of him. I mean, I know they have 18 quarterbacks.
Then they asked Miles about what it's like with Rodgers in the division, and you put this in the rundown.
Good opportunity to put him in the graveyard.
It's so quiet. He says it's an opportunity to put him in the graveyard.
Is someone sneezing in your background?
No, that's here.
Good opportunity to put him in the graveyard.
Oh, I was because I heard it before, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" Okay.
Yeah. So Myles Garrett, it's saying he wants to murder Aaron Rodgers.
He's gonna put him in
we
the
already
graveyard.
saw him try to do it to Mason Rudolph once, so
That's
I
true.
would take that threat seriously if I'm Aaron. Put him in the graveyard.
Yeah,
You think you're gonna fucking kill him, Miles.
Yeah, it wasn't even just like I'm looking forward to sacking him.
Sacking him.
He's like, I'm gonna kill him.
I am going to murder Aaron Rodgers, and nobody's talking about that.
No, people are just like, all right,
Okay, whatever.
we'll see what happens. All that crazy AFC North, because that's just how it goes. French. I mean, I'll be in there by the end of July. So, will I? Yeah, I mean,
Tom will be live out of the back of a moving van.
yes. I mean, there will probably just be days where we don't do GPS, but like we're still probably going to do it at least once a week. July is also a dead period too.
Yeah.
So there's just not going to be much to talk about.
It's like today, but every day.
Today, there's actually there was more than I thought there was.
There's some nuggets.
We're saving the entire back half here for the Cincinnati Bengals because I am so curious on your thoughts because they're not.
Yeah, I got all right, so we know what's going on with the Bengals. We've been talking about it for like 2 months now. Trey Hendrickson needs a new contract. They're not going to give it to him. He wants to be traded. They're not going to trade him. He's holding out. First round rookie, Shamar Stewart, drafted 17th overall. They're trying to put in a clause in his contract that would allow them to void all of his guaranteed money if something happened versus the void being applied to just 1 year. He doesn't want to do it. His agent doesn't want to do it. They're basically trying to do this for all of their rookies moving forward. They don't want to be the guinea pig. So Shamar Stewart also holding out. They asked him about it yesterday.
He was very candid.
Here's his response. It's about a minute long. So and I cut out the bullshit, but here's what he said.
Have they given you any answers as to why they're choosing this year and you to set a new precedent?
If I really wanted to say, I can't say what I really want to say, but it's their contract. They can do what they want with it. Like some people say, we all agree Trey will be right? But technically he's still 1% wrong for being under contract. So in my case, I'm 100% right, so it should be a no-brainer. And in Trey's case, I think it should be a no-brainer too. I mean, he led 17.5 sacks for 2 years back-to-back. If I was the GM or I was the owner, take all my money. But I guess they don't operate like that. But
Has this experience?
I talked to him the last time he was here, but other than that, no. I'm always ready to go. I've been staying ready to go. I mean, it's my job now. I got no choice but to be ready to go.
Okay, so there's a lot to talk about here, and Bengals fans, I'm so sorry you can't have a normal offseason. I'm sorry. This is just the fandom that you have decided to be a part of. Can be very exciting. Joe Burrow, but there's always going to be some turmoil in the offseason. So let's talk about the Trey Hendrickson aspect of it real quick and what Shemar Stewart is saying. So he's basically saying that Hendrickson is still 1% in the wrong for holding out because he is under contract, right? He currently has a contract with the Bengals. He would like more money. He would like an extension. And that's what they've been working on for the past, or not working on for the past however many months. We've been going on for a while now. Shemar Stewart is not under contract. He refuses to sign the contract because of what Perna was talking about is basically the Bengals are trying to sneak in a clause because let me just be very clear. So the collective bargaining agreement that came up with the NFLPA and the NFL, that sets the total amount of money, so basically for the majority of the first round now it's fully guaranteed. However, the actual language of the contract can still be edited by the teams. And as Perna was talking about, basically what they wanted to do is if they needed to, they could default the entire contract rather than just the year where Shemar Stewart didn't play or something didn't go well. So at this point, Shemar Stewart's well, I don't want to be the guinea pig for this new clause in which you're trying to, if something happens, you could default the rest of the contract and all the guarantees. That would be a big old problem because then I would be screwed and I'd be out of money. So now it's a matter of it's a standoff between Shemar Stewart, who still hasn't signed. He's showing up to camp. He's just not participating in any of the drills. He's sitting there on the sideline the entire time. But he refuses to sign anything because he's why are you trying to pull this stuff with me? Just give me the normal contract and how it's been forever.
Yeah, it's a way to not pay.
Yes.
It's just another way for a team to screw over a player. And they're we don't want to be a part of that. It's petty. It's stupid. And the fact that the Bengals won't just change it it's so dumb. It is so dumb and unnecessary.
That's right, Stern. That's right. The graveyard he did years ago for Halloween of the QBs.
No, he's talking about a literal graveyard and he wants to kill Aaron Rodgers. Come on, guys.
Got it.
He's threatening murder.
Respect, I would just go win the Super Bowl if I was the Eagles. If they ban the tush push, they ban it. They ain't banned this year. Go out and use it. Yeah. I don't think that's their number one key to success and why they're winning games.
No, they will run it when appropriate.
Yeah.
And they will run it to succeed and win.
Change it. But back to Shemar Stewart.
Pardon.
It's beautiful. So you are, I think it's crappy on a couple different levels, right? Because from the Bengals perspective, they're hey, we want to make sure that we protect our money, what have you, which I'm not really going to get behind. That's just
for a rookie contract. You're talking about contract, minimal cap savings that are going to come into play in 2 or 3 years, possibly.
Well, I think the ultimate issue is that this is the Bengals. They got mocked for the whole saga with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, but then they did the right thing and they signed those guys, right? They gave them some nice contracts. Jamar Chase, they kept their word, paid him a crap ton of money. And then it felt like that was so short-lived because then the Trey Hendrickson thing happened and now the Shemar Stewart thing happened. And there's additional context here is because when Shemar Stewart was drafted, there was already a bunch of hesitant, people were already hesitant if you're a Bengals fan because his production in college was not the best. I looked at Shemar Stewart a lot for the Packers and it was all right, this is a prototypical guy that we usually draft, insanely athletic, one of the best athletes in the draft, but the production isn't there. And so now you were already hesitant for him to be drafted, and now he still hasn't signed it. And now it's, of course, caught national media. It seems like it's just distractions, and it's an issue that is self-made. And we're not even just talking about Trey Hendrickson now. Now we're talking about another pass rusher. It's just what are we doing out here?
They have 0 pass rushers at the moment. None.
Yeah.
It's an easy thing to rectify.
I just think that this is not the hill to die on.
No,
For
it's
a
not
rookie
even
contract.
it's not close.
It's not it. Like
A rookie contract is the most manageable and team-friendly thing there is. And the Bengals are trying to make it just a little bit more in their favor.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm glad I don't have to deal with that as a fan. It's
Sure.
a problem.
I think it's because it's like I'm not going to compare the two, but it's kind of like Josh Allen and the Bills, right? You have, and like Joe Burrow's a superstar quarterback. So like he can, even with all the problems of the defense last year, even though they had the slow start, like that offense is talented enough. Joe Burrow is talented enough that they're able to kind of uplift it and solve. As a Packers fan, I saw this for years when the Packers had zero defense and they had Aaron Rodgers, right? So here, I feel like their Super Bowl's tough, but I don't think anyone wanted to play the Cincinnati Bengals if they made the playoffs last year because they were getting hot, at the right time. And of course, they just didn't make the playoffs. But, I think that they're going to be a pain in the ass team. And as long as they have Burrow and Chase and stuff, like they're always going to be competitive. But this seems to just be taking away from it because the argument that's been made about the Bengals is that, yes, they re-signed T. Higgins, they re-signed Jamar Chase, but their team is relatively the same.
Yeah.
Right. From where it was last year. And again, I think they still could have been a playoff. They were very close to being a playoff team. And if they get off to a hot start this year, I wouldn't be surprised if they make it. But
their only chance to make it is if they have Shemar and Trey Hendrickson on the field for them on defense. If not, they're putting all the pressure on their offense. They're not a balanced team. And even if they make the playoffs, it's not going to go well.
Mm-hmm.
You need those guys out there. It's funny too, because like we know this about the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
This has been going on since Carson Palmer, Andrew Whitworth's talked about it. And so just as a comp, right? You have Trey Hendrickson not showing up. He wants a new contract. You have TJ Watt not showing up for the Steelers. They're in contract talks as well. Nobody is freaking out about TJ Watt not being there for the Steelers because everybody assumes they're going to get that deal done.
Yeah.
They're freaking about Trey Hendrickson because everybody assumes they're going to fuck that shit up.
Sure.
Like that's the difference between what an organization like the Steelers has done historically, how they've treated players, their perception versus where the Bengals are at.
So Richard, so again, you can make this argument all the long day, and I think you could make a pretty good argument. My point is that from the organization standpoint, they did the right thing and they paid their guys, which is not usually what the Bengals do. So people like, I know this doesn't mean anything, right? But they got like a bunch of social credit because it was like, oh man, they did the right thing and they paid everybody. But now here we are with Trey Hendrickson, and now here we are with Shemar Stewart. And I feel like with Stewart, there was already some inherent risk in drafting him and him just not see, like he needs to be developed into an NFL player, right? Just like all these guys do. But especially for the lack of production, there was already like, oh, okay, like I really hope they could develop him. He ain't getting developed right now. He's standing on the sideline over this. And you can make an argument about Shemar Stewart of just like signing it and what have you. I personally don't agree with that because I think it's just, hey, like stop playing. This should be a done deal. You take this clause out if this is the only thing that's a problem, that you're not going to default the rest of his contract if something happens, then you just do that. You can sign him to a 5th-year option. You could do a number of things, but I don't know, man. It just seems like this is the wrong hill to die on.
Yeah, they could have gotten insane value for T. Higgins. They should have traded him is what they should have done.
You can make that argument because then you could assign Trey and you can bolster up that defense a little bit.
Or you should have traded Trey. Yeah. Or they should still trade. They should trade Trey right now.
So
that's extra draft capital that they can use to build next season.
But that's the problem. And I think that the Bengals are in a spot where, okay, let me ask you right now as we sit here on June 11th, do you think Trey Hendrickson is playing for the Bengals this upcoming season? I think he is.
Are you asking if they don't pay him, do you think he'll play through his contract?
I'm assuming they're going to pay him.
Yeah, I don't know.
The reason I say that is because if they don't, unless they get some insane trade value, like it has to be like a 1st-round pick, right? But even if it is, I feel like they missed the boat. They needed that capital now because they were like to trade him before the draft because, dude, you don't have Trey Hendrickson. That's a huge piece of your defense.
Yeah.
And like, even if Shemar Stewart is good right out of the gate, I don't think he's replicating that kind of production.
No. 17 sacks? No.
He ain't doing that. So I think and a guy who had problems.
I think Trey will hold out. I think
he just holds out completely.
I think he will. I don't think he's messing around. I hope. Well, because I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen. I hope the Bengals just pay him. He's earned it. It makes the most sense for them. They might not be in the best cap situation in a year or two or whatever, however it shakes out, but like, just pay him. Even if he drops it to like 12 sacks, it's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Still consistent QB pressures. Like, you need that. And, they've got Warren Burks, Logan Wilson at linebacker in the middle there. Like, that's nice. Get the pressure up front. Help your whole team out. And there are teams that would take Trey Hendrickson. I don't know what they give up in terms of draft capital at the moment. But
so theoretically, if I'm not mistaken, and you could double check me on this, if Shemar Stewart does not sign a contract, because that was the question I just saw. If he doesn't sign, if I'm not mistaken, like he goes back into the draft next year.
I don't know. Is that how it works?
Hold on. So I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Let's see. Hold on. Yep, there you go. If they don't sign, they can re-enter the draft next season. And if they still don't sign with the team that picks them, they can enter free agency and potentially land a contract elsewhere. It's rare, but it does happen.
Ooh. Do it, Shemar.
Yeah. Man, can you
I hope the Bengals lose them both.
Can you imagine?
Lose them both. Yeah. Trey Hendrickson, 83 pressures last season. 83.
Bengals, please.
How are you going to replace that? Huh? Cincinnati? That was
I'm not looking at the AI.
Garrett.
Hold on, I'll show you.
Chris Jones had more, Jared Verse had more, and Jonathan Greenard had more.
Hold on. Just to show our work here. This is what I'm getting. I'm not getting it from the AI overview.
Wait, look at me.
So this is from MB. No, why is it you? Go away. Here.
I'm here. You can't get rid of me.
So here you go.
Woo!
So if they don't sign, they can re-enter the draft next season. If they still don't sign with the team that picks them, they enter free agency and potentially land a contract elsewhere. It's rare, but it does happen. So, yeah. We saw this. Yes. So John Elway, right? He's like, good old John. Good old Johnny John. I don't want to sign no contract. I don't want to do that. Hey, Flintstone vitamins are pretty good, though. Flintstone, pretty good.
They're not good. They might be better now, but
he has the comfort of being right. Well, technically, Trey is so Trey Hendrickson can get penalized for this because he is just going to lose money. Right.
Yeah,
if he decided to sit out the entire year, the bank, it's not like he's a free agent then, because we were just talking about the CBA. He would still be under contract with the Bengals and it would be a mess. He just wouldn't play football.
Trey's also the victim of having a bad agent. And that's what Shemar Stewart said. Trey Hendrickson is 99% right.
Yes.
But you can say he's 1% wrong because he did sign that contract. And the contract was a weird 1-year extension that he signed a year or two ago. It was just, I don't know. It felt like a Band-Aid that the agent was able to work out. And they should have taken advantage of trying to extend those years then. That's it's so stupid too. It's just because of his age that the Bengals don't really want to pay him what he's asking for. They're just scared of the fall off.
Yeah,
because when a guy's produced back-to-back 17-sack seasons for you, just extend him.
Well, this is the problem too, right? I mean, and we've talked about this with the Cowboys ad nauseum, that this is the risk, right, of just not getting these deals done. Yeah. And this is just where we're at right now, because yes, I think from the Bengals perspective, you could make an argument of like, hey, Trey Hendrickson, phenomenal player. He is getting older. We don't want to pour a ton of money into him, the extension that he wants. Like, I get it from that standpoint, but oh well, like that's that. Then you need to, all right, if we're not going to pay you, we need to trade you or figure something else out. And the fact that this is getting dragged into, deep into the offseason, I just think Bengals fans are just like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's just another thing and another thing and another thing. So, I mean, Zach Taylor, it's not his fault.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Zach Taylor, I think you could criticize, but yeah, it's not his fault. He's not there getting the contracts done. That's not his job. So
and the one thing Zach Taylor has going for him is players like playing for him. Like, you can not believe he's the greatest head coach, but I think players respect Zach Taylor and like that, like T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, when like we were uncertain about that, like that was a part of why, in addition to Joe Burrow, they want to come back. They like Taylor, they like Burrow, and I think Burrow, dude, like Joe Burrow,
he goes to bat for his teammates.
Goes to bat for, and his players fucking love him.
Disagree, girl.
He's like, that's why T. Higgins is back there. It's 100% Joe Burrow. Like, T had probably every opportunity he could have wanted. He could have played anywhere, but he chose to go back. And his contract, it's a big number, but there is a lot of non-guaranteed money in T. Higgins' contract that the Bengals can get out of, I think, pretty easily. So it's not even that great of a deal for T. Bengals fans should love Joe Burrow more than the average fan loves their quarterback, because he's the only thing keeping that franchise like competitive and relevant right now.
Well, I think to your point, Dan, like I understand from the perspective of like the fan base, right? Is Zach Taylor picking sides? But in reality, like Zach Taylor should not have anything to do with this. Zach Taylor's job as the head coach is to coach the players that are in front of him, right? It's the GM's job to field the roster and be like, hey, here's who's going to be on the roster. So, that's a different story. But I understand from like the perception aspect. I just don't know. I don't know, man. It's a tough situation. And I just feel bad for Bengals fans because this is not what they want to be talking about in the offseason. Yeah. And if everything was taken care of, the narrative with the Bengals is, how do we prevent a slow start? That's it, right? It's like, hey, we have a similar roster to what we had last year. How can we build on that and make sure that we can get into the postseason this time?
Yeah.
So like, it's tough, man. And I don't know how I would imagine the Bengals fold on this clause with Shamar Stewart, because I think it's just such a dumbass thing to try. Like, it's such a I understand from their perspective of trying to save money, but to then just like pull it out of nowhere and go, nope, like it's going to void your entire contract. No, we're not doing that.
Yeah, it's like the NFLPA needs to find out how to insert more guarantees for players and for injuries. Like, I was trying to think about James Cook's his situation with Buffalo, right? Like, he's going into the final year of his rookie deal. He's going to be underpaid for this season. I think he believes, like, he wants to be out there. He wants to play and he wants to perform. The risk in that specific year for a running back, if James Cook gets hurt this year, he is going to be screwed out of so much money, because it lowers his value even if the Bills bring him back, and they would be the most likely team to bring back a guy who got hurt playing for him. Free agency, they're not going to value him as highly as other running backs because of the injury. And I was like, what if there was like a way where a team could put an injury, like the franchise tag, but you can put an injury tag on a guy that if they get injured in that year, all right, so if James Cook got injured in 2025, he has an injury guarantee that pays him, say, like it's like the 10th highest paid running back. He gets paid whatever that is. Let's say it's $11 million for 2026, and he can come back and play for the Bills one more season. He makes his money. He gets the opportunity to prove he still has value. And I was trying to like work through the logistics of it in my brain, and it gets very complicated. But if a team could do that with like one player or an offense and a defensive player that is on and not a first round draft pick either. You got to be outside of the first round so they can't use the franchise tag on you. I was like, no matter how I think about this, there's probably a way an organization can use that to screw the player over in some way. And I was like, because I get James Cook, like I get why he wants more money now, and 100%. I get why the Bills want to, have him play out that final year where he's incredible value for him, and where there's still some question marks about how effective he is overall at the position.
Look at Brock Purdy, right? We were just talking about the dude played for, in NFL terms, no money, right? Like he literally was the last pick of the draft, and then he finally got paid, right? Because at some point, like as an organization, it's just like, we need to make this decision here. So I will always be more on like the pro player side of things, because especially for James Cook, because running backs' careers in the NFL are usually incredibly short, right? So any chance that you have to make life-changing money, that's a very significant incentive to go and ask for this. So he's still showing up, and man, like I hope he has a good season so that he can go and get paid, because
and I think that's something the NFLPA needs to push for in terms of like the rookie contracts is I think they just need to be like 3-year deals for second round picks. It's instead of 4, make it 3, and maybe it's 3 for first rounds with the 4th year as an option. Like,
who's not going to accept that? The owners. They are not.
I think some owners are it's like the owners that have a lot of money are fine with it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
Denver Broncos.
The problem, I think, Brandon, is like you look at the first round guys. That has changed over the years, where now the vast majority of them have fully guaranteed contracts for their rookie year, right? Because it's like, hey, you're also getting a 5th year. Like there's a 5th year option where you can be stuck with this team, not just 4 years, but 5 years, especially if you don't like the team. It's kind of rough. But in terms of the later rounds, I mean, that's where you're going to have all the GMs get the value. Like they will, I don't think they would ever say like, no, but I get exactly what you're saying, because that's just more player friendly, and you don't get into these kind of situations where you do just a year earlier.
It would be nice. Like like Roger Goodell was bringing up a thing about teams taking advantage of extra years, void years, and how it's like specifically with like quarterback contracts and manipulating the cap that way. And a solution to that, oddly, is to have all contracts be guaranteed. Because then there's no wiggle room. There's no loopholes. We're not looking at the Saints being 80 million over the cap and going, how are they going to get cap compliant? And then they do a bunch of magic and they're fine again. It would be so much simpler if we looked at a team's cap situation and that's actually what it meant. And it meant that because the money that's accounted for is going to go to the players regardless. It would be so, but and the easiest solution is not one they're going to accept.
No, they're never going to do it,
which is hilarious to me. But and somebody just mentioned Sam Bradford because before the rookie pay scale was like implemented, you had rookies holding out. Like Shamar Stewart could be holding out right now without this, asking for an insane amount of money.
Sure.
It would be about money. And like, I like that it's not a question of guys holding out, but it's turned into a thing where it puts, rookies in a situation where if they outperform their contract, they have to wait quite a while before they make it up.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing that the NFL wants to avoid, and one of the biggest reasons is because injuries are so prevalent, because it is such a physical game, right? Like the risk for injury is significantly higher, which is why the Bengals are like, hey, like we're trying to protect ourselves. But from a player's perspective, like, yeah, I could get hurt, and like you said, if God forbid James Cook got hurt this year, like any guy who's on a contract year or like expecting a big time contract, and then they get hurt, and we see it all the time, and then they don't get their money. And yeah, man,
if James Cook suffers a season ending injury this year, it's probably going to cost him like $20 or $30 million. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I did not know that. Big shakeup in the sumo world, huh?
Wow.
Ref embezzling wrestlers. Why is a ref even? Why does he have access to any of that money?
Sumo wrestling. That's where I do my embezzlements, Tom.
That's right. Now you're at it.
What do you even wrestle or reffing in sumo?
If they step out,
That's your only job, right?
step out. It's a
You're just watching feet.
just watching feet.
That's all you're doing.
Rex
Quentin
Ryan's next
Tarantino
gig.
wants that job.
That's it. Who'd you say?
Quentin Tarantino.
I said Rex Ryan, so it's I was just
Yeah.
keeping sports related. That's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see if we'll see how this Bengals saga comes to an end. I honestly, I thought we were just gonna be talking about Trey Hendrickson, but now this is picking up more steam.
If I know the NFL, they will both agree to contracts as soon as this episode ends.
Probably.
Everything we said will be wrong, and it will happen right after the show's over,
Most likely. Yeah,
and it'll make the entire episode meaningless.
probably. But hey, that's the off season. Part of what we got coming out today.
We got our Derek Carr video coming out today.
Oh, a little Derek Carr action.
A little hey, how good was Derek Carr really?
Mm.
And I was like, because there's those videos out there, right? How good was this player really? I think Derek Carr is actually a tough one to answer for. So it's about his career. Old Derek Carr.
Should be an
Go
interesting
Raiders.
one. That'd be good. We'll always have that one season. Yeah, I don't unless the Jair Alexander news breaks. I'm probably not putting something out today besides this, but then there's gonna be content that's gonna come out tomorrow and all that great stuff. So
Oh, like Jair signing with the team?
yeah, like he winds up because I put out the Jair videos. Yeah, if he winds up like signing with the Vikings or the Ravens or something, I'll put something out. But
Yeah, I wonder how long that process.
I
is gonna
can't
take.
imagine it's going to be very. I mean, I'm sure that there's a few teams that are courting him, and then he'll
Yeah.
just see. I'd be super happy for Jair if he went to the Ravens. Get reunited with Lamar. Like he's good buddy with
Ravens,
Lamar.
Rams.
They could use him. Oh man, then you get Jair and Devontae in practice again. That'd be cool.
Ooh.
That'd be cool.
Niners.
Listen, I wish Jair. No,
Niners make a little sense.
not the 49ers. I just want Jair to do well, man. Like I always liked him as a player. So
Yeah, he's hilariously goofy.
he's
I
gonna
love
go
it.
to the freaking. He's gonna go to the stupid ass Vikings, and it's gonna kill me. It's gonna. But folks, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you maybe on Friday. We'll see what's going on. See what's coming down.
what happened on Friday.
We'll see what's going on.
See.
But folks, thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. Ooh, basketball's tonight. You have been navigated.
B-ball.
Also, Swerve versus Osprey too. Let's go.
Avery